Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, and I got my latest 7-round Raiders mock draft. And if y'all like mock drafts, like this video right now, because if it gets 1,000 likes, I'm going to make another one. And I'm going to be honest, you should probably want them, because this year the Raiders, they got 2 picks in the first round. You got 3 picks in the third round, a 4th rounder, and a 5th rounder. Total 7 picks. What does that mean? That means Mike Mayock, Jon Gruden get 5 picks in the top 100. Yeah, that's something to like. So also, we were super active in free agency. You go out, you get 12 new players. But we do still have some needs that need to be filled. Wide receiver is the biggest need for me. Cornerback, safety, linebacker. If you disagree with me, you can yell at me at Mitchell Renz 365. So how about this? Before I tell you who I picked at 12, let me tell you who went off the board right in front of me. Jeff Okudah went to the Carolina Panthers. Kristian Wirfs, C.J. Henderson, Becton, Jedrick Wills. These were the 5 players drafted before me. But did you guys pick up on something? That means these 3 wide receivers were available to the Raiders at pick 12. So I'm going to ask you, who would you take? CeeDee Lamb out of Oklahoma? You're going to go with Jerry Jeudy or Henry Ruggs out of Alabama? So for every single person that watches this video on YouTube or on Facebook, let me know. CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy, or Henry Ruggs. If you're a loyal watcher of the show, I mean, come on, you knew I was going to go with CeeDee Lamb. I love CeeDee Lamb, and I think he could be that number 1 wide receiver for Derek Carr. He's got that elite size, the speed. It's going to fit Jon Gruden's offense very, very nicely. Plus, he wants to learn how to block, and you can see it in his tape. His ability to get yards after the catch, it's special. And in an offense where, guess what? Once in a while, you might yell at him. We're going to dink and dunk here. CeeDee Lamb, he's going to be able to pick up those extra yards. Now, the stats, they speak for themselves. I get it. He played in the Big 12, but go watch his film. It's not going to light up like a Henry Ruggs in terms of speed, but if you're looking for a physical receiver, a lot like a DeAndre Hopkins, I'm telling you right now, do not be surprised if 3 years down the road, you're like, man, this CeeDee Lamb guy is a top 5 receiver in the NFL, because that's the traits that he has. And the notes that you see on screen, the 4.50-second 40-yard dash, was it slower than Jeudy? Yes. Was it slower than Ruggs? Yes. But my comp for CeeDee Lamb is a lesser version of a Hopkins, who ran a 4.5740, who, again, doesn't light up the combine metrics, but you know what he does? He plays football, and CeeDee Lamb is a freaking football player. So let's say we go out, we get Lamb. We got him at pick 12. This is what I think our depth chart's going to look like, and he instantly, in my opinion, insert him there as the wide receiver 1. You have Tyrell Williams as the 2, Hunter Renfrow, Zay Jones. I'm a little bit more comfortable with them in the slot. And then the player that we just picked up in free agency is Nelson Aguilar. So before I tell you who the Raiders took at 19, let me walk you through who the players went off the board before there. So you got Henry Ruggs, Jerry Jeudy, the big 3 wide receivers. They are now gone to 2 rivals nonetheless. Then at pick number 16, Chasen. 17, 18, McKinney, Delpit, 2 safeties that I like a lot and that have been featured here on the Raiders Report. So for me, it was really down to 2 players. I thought about needs and I thought about talent. For me, it was Kristian Fulton or Javon Kinlaw. And for those of you that watch this show all the time, you know it's not about me, it's about you. So I'm going to make this the pinned comment on today's video. For those of you that are watching this on YouTube, you might get hit with an ad break. While the ad is playing, I want you to scroll on down and let me know, Kristian Fulton or Javon Kinlaw. I went with Kristian Fulton out of LSU, and I think he just covers receivers really well. And I think we can all agree that's what this Raiders team needs. He's also a very smart defender who doesn't overcommit and doesn't get burned. I watched way too many times last season us give up deep balls of 20 and 40-plus yards. That's not going to happen with Kristian Fulton. And in my opinion, I think when you look at what you're looking for in a first-round corner in terms of build, in terms of size, in terms of intelligence, it looks a lot like Fulton. And for those of you that look at these stats and say, Mitch, he only had 22 tackles. Do you know why he had only 22 tackles? Because teams didn't throw the ball at him. Because it was dumb to throw the football anywhere near Kristian Fulton. And if there is one thing that I've learned from this Raiders team, from Mike Mayock, from Jon Gruden, they want winners and they want champions. They went out, they got a whole bunch of Clemson players in last year's draft. This year, I'm telling you right now, do not be surprised if you don't see them go out and get some players from LSU. Because we want to start breeding winners and we want to start breeding champions. That's how you change a culture. Got it? Awesome. And if you love the Raiders, Luckily for you, I'm going to be coming out with daily videos the entire offseason. Rumors, news. If this video gets 1,000 likes, more mock drafts. Bottom line, if you bleed silver and black, if it's in your veins, this is the channel for you. So go subscribe, turn on the notifications so you know every single time I drop a video. All right, let's talk now about the depth chart with Fulton. And when they went out and got Eli Apple, a lot of people got mad at me for having him at the cornerback 2. Let's get one thing straight. You don't go out and get Eli Apple to be the cornerback 2, but you do go out and get Kristian Fulton and Trayvon Mullen, who would be an absolutely amazing young cornerback duo. So if this can happen, Raiders, if you watch the show, John, Mike, let me know if this is going to work, because I'll tell you what, I would absolutely love to have Mullen and Fulton there for the Raiders in the secondary. So the Raiders, they went with CeeDee Lamb at pick 12. They went with Kristian Fulton at pick number 19, which then means next pick coming up is pick number 80. But before I tell you who I decided to go with, because guess what? He is a sleeper, and he's kind of sliding under radars. I'm going to tell you about this awesome deal I got for you, thanks to our sponsor, jatsports.com/RaidersWorld. So only $24.99 is for you to wear this shirt. And the best part about this deal, you got free shipping as well. The Big C, not slowing us down. It's not slowing down our sponsors as well. So if this is the shirt you want, Raiders Against the World, let's say, I don't know, you forget the link, I'll put it in the description. I'll put it in the comments below. Go rep the nation, only $24.99. All right, I promised you I'd give you a sleeper. Well, he used to be a sleeper, but after having an incredible Senior Bowl, he's not so much of a sleeper anymore. It's Kyle Duggar, and I absolutely love this safety. And if you're looking for a player with elite size, speed, explosive production that didn't go to a Power 5 school, I'm telling you what, it's Duggar. And for anybody out there, okay, that gives me the, oh, Mitch, he played D2, go look at his tape at the Senior Bowl. Go look at what he did at the Combine. Because a 42-inch vertical, that's crazy. A 4.49 second 40, that's pretty good too. Then when you look at his 6'1", 217 frame, if you go watch his tape, actually, he almost looks bored. He looks bored going up against D2 players. And, hey, I get it. A lot of players are talented. Kyle Duggar, though, he should not have been playing D2. A very, very good pick for this Raiders team here at number 80. So we go through 80. We go through 19. We go through 12. Now, remember, the Raiders have pick 80, and they have pick 81. And I know a lot of people are going to absolutely love my pick here at 81. It's Willie Gay out of Mississippi State. And if you want an old-school Raider, and what do I mean by that? A tough, nasty dude who is just going to hit you in the mouth, that's Willie Gay. Honestly, I'm not just saying this because of the Mississippi State here, but he reminds me a lot of a linebacker. He reminds me a lot of Jonathan Abram as a linebacker, a dude who loves football, a dude who's going to be a fun presence, but he wants to hit, and he wants to just lay people out, and that's what Willie Gay does. Now, I will be honest, the off the field worries me a little bit, and we talk a lot about culture here. Willie Gay, I don't know if he really fits that culture scheme. However, what do we say? Just win, baby. Willie Gay is going to help you just win, baby. Because if you just talk about combine metrics, there is only one other linebacker in the entire combine that had a better one than Gay. His name, it's Isaiah Simmons. Maybe you heard of him. Because at 6'1", 243 pounds, the fact that he's running a 7'3" cone drill, the fact that he's leaping almost 40 inches, that's 5 inches higher than CeeDee Lamb. The fact that he's running a 4.46 40, guess what? That also faster than CeeDee Lamb, the same as Jerry Jeudy. If you can find me a linebacker this talented in the third round, guess what? I think it's somebody that we need to go after. So here are our first 4 picks here in my latest mock draft. And as I always say, let me know what you guys think. My DMs, always open on Instagram, at Mitchell Renz 365. Speaking of Instagram, I've been seeing this challenge all over the place. And if you want me to drop down and give you 10, hit me up. Tag me at Mitchell Renz 365. So if you haven't seen this trend yet, what do? You post yourself doing 10 push-ups, put it on your Instagram story, tag me, then I got to do 10. Sound good? I expect to see a ton of challenges. I'm here in my home office studio. I'm going out of my mind. Make me do 10 push-ups. All right, let's go now to the next player here at pick number 91 in round 3. It's Chase Claypool. And height, weight, speed, dude is a physical specimen. And I'm talking like He could be a huge asset, and y'all know that I love me some huge assets, especially in the red zone. But for me, when I thought about what he could actually be a tight end. Now, I want to try him out at wide receiver, and when I think about what he could be in terms of a player comp, I see a lot of like an Evan Ingram, but I also see a little bit of a DK Metcalf, and that's because of that size, that's because of that speed. And when I talked about some combine winners and losers, Chase Claypool was just a clear winner. And as you can see, 66 catches, 13 touchdowns, over 1,000 yards at Notre Dame. But the reason why I want to go out and get him, the Raiders, they were able to move the football. What did Mike Mayock say? We moved the football well, we couldn't convert. Well, guess what? You go out, you put Chase Claypool now in your lineup. Yeah, I don't care if he's our wide receiver 4, because that's what I want him as right now. You put this player with this much talent on your field, he's going to at least draw a lot of attention. And at 6'4", 238 pounds, the fact that he can run that 4.4240, you're not going to find many players as talented as Chase Claypool. And the fact that we can get him in round 3, that's something that I absolutely love. All right, round 4 time now. Pick 121, Bradley and I. And he was in my last mock draft that I did. Why? And I'm going to use it. I hate to use it. It's a Gruden grinder. He's a high effort player that always competes. He always hustles. And I think he's a decent athlete, right? He does have shorter arms. But again, I think he makes up for it because of that hustle. One of the biggest reasons why Maxx Crosby had such a good year was the motor. It doesn't ever stop. And that's what you're going to get in Bradley and I. High football IQ. I don't think he's going to be a captain because of, well, his talent. But if you are looking for a player who can be a captain in the locker room and a captain on the sideline, I think that's what you're going to get in a Nye. Now, when I think about all the Raiders' needs, when I think about potential fits here, I do like this move a lot for this team. Strong dude, 25 reps on the bench. He still ran under a 40. This is a player where I really think if you could maybe put him in a Benson Mayock role where he's playing only 30% of the snaps, that's best case scenario for a Nye on this Raiders team. So our first 4 picks, okay? Just going to kind of loop you through here. You got Lamb, Fulton, Duggar, Willie Gay Jr. I think we had a solid first 4. And then we went with Chase Claypool out of Notre Dame. Then you go with Bradley and Nye out of Utah, what does that mean? It means we have one more pick to go. And what do I want? We're in Vegas. Let's roll the dice a little bit. Let's go with a player who didn't get invited to the combine, but he should have. And it's Roy, okay? Ravion Roy out of Baylor. And round 5, pick 159, thick, powerful frame who just absolutely eats up blockers. And for me, he does play inconsistent. There's no doubt about that. That's what his tape shows. But freakish movement and skills for his size, period. And I think one of the biggest reasons why Baylor kind of showed up out of nowhere this year was a player a lot like Roy, who is eating up the middle. Sure, we went out, we got Malik Collins, we got P.J. Hall, you got Jonathan Hankins, you got Mo Hurst. But right now, what am I looking for? Upside. And in round 5, our last pick, a little bit of a project. If Mike Mayock thinks that he can make Roy live up to his expectations, again, don't be surprised if this is a player 3 years down the road, you're like, man, he put it together and he's an absolute freak. There's some things that you can't teach. Size, freakish ability, and at 333 pounds, the dude, he moves really well. So how about this? For those of you that made it all the way to the end of this video, I appreciate that. I want you to grade my mock draft. We went CeeDee Lamb. We went Kristian Fulton in the first round. So I want you to give me an A, a B, a C, a D, or an F. And for those of you that did make it all the way to the end, I want you to DM me on Instagram at Mitchell Renz 365 your grades, or if I missed out on any players that you love.
Raider Nation, what's going on? Is this the #1 Raiders channel on YouTube? For Chucky Heads, believe it, baby. And if you haven't already, subscribe right here. I'm giving you Chucky Heads, news, rumors, Raider Nation rumors. And look at this, I'm making your life easier. Check out my next video. Thanks for watching, and go Raiders.